Let's talk about Liverpool. Now, if we talk about Isak and Wirtz, it's only 8 starts between the two of them. So we're not dealing with this on the basis of a lot of evidence. But is the evidence there that they are going to click, that they are going to start producing?
I think the evidence is definitely there with Isak because he's been in the Premier League before. You know, he was fantastic for Newcastle. He's got to score that chance when he's
and
going
Slot
through.
says now his pre-season's over. He's now ready to be judged.
Oh, listen, Listen, I said a few weeks ago, maybe for Florian Wirtz, he's found it tough to get up to the speed of the Premier. It's not just about the goals and assists. Obviously, we know he hasn't got one yet, but it can be in general play as well. And we know there's a different physicality in the Premier League to the Bundesliga. And yes, and I heard Jamie say before the game, and plenty of people doing the right to say, oh, it's too early to judge. And of course, as you've just said, 7 or 8 games. But I mean, is there a certain game where it's okay? What do we have to get to? 15, 20? What I'm saying is, it's like you've got to. I'm not expecting to see the Bayer Leverkusen Florian Wirtz in the first 7 games, but I'm expecting to see him
improve.
Just little glimpses where you think, OK, he can get there. We haven't seen much at all, really. And with Isak, as I say, he's got to score that chance. That's not about being at a new club. That's just a poor finish. You know, he's not thinking of that when he's going through. You've just got to score that. But no, listen, I think it's interesting when. And we've all said this in as a pundit, where we talk about how long do you give foreign players when they come to the league. Some people say you don't write the first year off, but, you know, the second year they'll improve and get better. But if I'm being totally honest, in my experience of players who've come to the club when I was a player, if I think of the great foreign signings, and the first one that comes to me, I'll think Sami Hyypiä, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Luis Suarez, Didi Hamann coming in. They all hit the ground running. I can't think of many who had a really average, poor... I'm not talking 7 games, by the way. If we're talking getting to Christmas, January, February, when you haven't seen much, you're a little bit like, ooh, because for me, history doesn't tell me that foreign signings coming into England take a year. People always say Thierry Henry. It's nonsense. Thierry Henry scored 25 goals in his first season for Arsenal.
But he didn't score for his first 8, though.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is,
so
it wasn't a year.
So you do need to be patient, then. If he didn't score for his first 8, then...
I know, but I'm just saying 7 or 8 games is too early. But what I'm saying is, once we start getting to January, February, March, it's a bit like, when is the time when we can start saying, hang on, maybe this was a mistake? Yes, you can talk about getting used to up to speed, and we're at that stage now, 7 or 8 games. But in my experience with players, especially at Liverpool, players who are great, you know, foreign signings for the club, more often than not, they hit the ground running. I would say 99% of them.
So I think there are others that don't. Gravenberch took a while. There are others that maybe do take a little bit more time. And the thing is, as well, this pre-season, I think, for Liverpool was probably the most difficult they've ever had to go through, for obviously what happened with the tragedy and everything like that. So everything's been disrupted and been so tough for the players. So what that has done to a lot of the players, and that disruption must have been so tough for everybody. They've lost one of their... not just a teammate, also a brother to a lot of them. So it's been really difficult. Now, players coming in, like Florian Wirtz, there's been a few moments. If he has the assist against Chelsea and Salah scores for him, we'll talk about, wow, what an assist. He's off, he's running. Now, I'm not sure, excuse me, if he's going to be that person that's going to be always sliding balls through. He might be at times like a little bit like, I would say, a Luka Modric. Now, Luka Modric, you judged him purely on his goals and assists. You maybe think he wouldn't be the player that we will talk about, but he would be the player that would make the pass and makes the pass. Now, that might be Florian Wirtz. Today, when he come on, he showed me a lot of qualities, and I thought, yeah, he was willing to get on the ball. It wasn't easy for him. I think we've got a real player there, but it's going to take time. The intensity of this league, especially for someone like him, it's so robust, and he might just be finding that a bit more difficult than what we all expected. He might have to go on a little bit of a strength and conditioning situation for a few months and get him even stronger. But I've got no doubt, because I've seen players like that in the Premier League and I've seen him in Germany, he will be a success here. But, again, we have to be a little bit patient. Isak, I'm not worried about, as Jamie says. He's played in this league for the last few years. He's going to be comfortable. But there isn't that pressure when you play for Liverpool.
It sort of brings me back to something you said before the game, Jamie, which is that when Mo Salah isn't playing well, Liverpool are maybe having to have someone else as their star player. However, is that an Isak? Is that a Florian Wirtz? Is it someone else? They're now looking for a different... I don't know, pivotal player in that starting lineup. Who do you think that the future player that Liverpool build their team around is?
Well, it has to be Isak and Wirtz, because they've spent the money on them, and, you know, their age profile compared to Mo Salah. And I do think watching Mo Salah this season, and I absolutely love him. But if we know he's good, there's a tactical setup with Mo Salah in that he doesn't help Liverpool's right back. But that's I'm not criticising him for being lazy, not getting back. We lauded Arne for allowing Salah that role last season, and he probably hasn't got the legs to get up and down like a conventional wide player. But if you're not getting nothing going the other way, you're obviously losing something that way, but you're not gaining it going the other way. And watching Mo Salah today, he never got found out sort of defensively because he doesn't track back today. But he was off with the ball. He lost the ball a lot through the game, and that can happen with him, even in his prime. But what I would say with Mo Salah right now is I think we're at the stage where I don't think Mo Salah should be like a Virgil van Dijk, where it's like first name on the team sheet. So Liverpool have got 2 away games, one of the Champions League in Frankfurt, and then they go to Brentford. I don't think Mo Salah should start both of those games. He should always be starting at Anfield because Liverpool are going to be on top, be around the edge of the box, and more often than not, he scores in those situations today. But I do think with away games and helping your right full-back as well, I don't think Mo Salah should be starting every game right now, certainly away from home, with the form that he's in.
Was he on the bench for the Galatasaray game in Europe?
Yeah, and I think we'll see that a little bit more going forward. Just because
Will he be okay with that, Jamie? Will he be okay with that, or is he type to spit his dummy out? Or?
Probably not. I wouldn't imagine we're not all great with being on the bench, but I think when you get to a certain age as well, I think we all have to understand that as well, and especially when you're not playing well. Where's your argument? It's different if you're banging in the goals and the manager makes a tactical decision and you're frustrated. I don't think Mo Salah's in any position, to complain if he was left out of one of the next 2 away games. But I do think always play him at home. But I think right now playing him away from home in every game, I think the manager should look at maybe something slightly different in terms of Frimpong.
What do you think? Is it time to start managing his career?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Jurgen Klopp did it a couple of times. He didn't like it when he took him off. I remember at West Ham one day, and there was a few words crossed between the two of them. So it has happened even a few years ago. So it's not anything new. I mean, do I look at him and think that he's a different player right now? I think last year he was so good early in the season, but there seemed to be a drop-off. His form, his confidence is low. He's not looking the same player right now. But when you talk about like world-class players, and I know he's obviously playing a totally different league, but you still have to bring him up. He's Ronaldo and the age he's still at. Now, these are great players and he's so fit. I still think he's got a lot more to offer. He's just having a bit of a bad time, and it's like everybody else in this team. So it's very easy to look at all the different players. There's not one player that I would say, they're at the level they were last year at the moment. And that's what's making it really difficult, not just for the manager, but also for the team.
Jamie Carragher and Jamie Redknapp have weighed in on the impressive starts of Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak at Liverpool, praising how quickly both players have adapted to life under Arne Slot. Carragher highlighted Wirtz's creativity and vision, calling him the spark Liverpool have been missing in midfield, while Redknapp lauded Isak's composure and sharp finishing, describing him as the perfect modern striker for the club's new system. Both pundits agreed that their instant impact has injected fresh energy and confidence into the team, suggesting that Liverpool's attack could soon return to its most dangerous form if the duo continue their current trajectory.